episode 26 of the Mainly Wrestling Show. I'm very under the weather, Jack Milner. She's a riddled Lissy Almeida, and he's a quite chirpy John Jacobs. We are here to watch. It's WrestleMania season still, apparently. Point to the sign. It's up there. Point to the sign, John. Thank you very much. That was very We the Ones. And we are carrying on our WrestleMania flashback series, if you want to call it. And we discussed this earlier. I don't think we've done it before. Possibly, we might watch it for something else, but WrestleMania 25, I'd long checked out of the Fed by then. But apparently, sources are intimating that Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels could be the best WrestleMania match of all time. Lacey, the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
You're asking me to be the authoritative source on this?
You're the general manager of Coastal Championship Wrestling now, right?
Oh my God, now you've gone too far.
Commissioner Regal ain't got shit on Lissy. War Games!
Well, let's think about, I'll talk to John about this because you're the build up to this match. And I think it was kind of nice because there was a lot of points in the last few years before this match that they reflected like, oh, the only two guys that are still around from the original episode of Raw are Shawn and Undertaker. So it kind of just, it really was that like end of that chapter. And then of course we know Undertaker held on for a few more years, but anyway, that's irrelevant. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody went into this match just knowing that like Shawn was going to lose. This was going to be his retirement match. I didn't, as a lifelong Shawn Michaels fan, I didn't walk in expecting Shawn to win.
I mean, at the time, right, the streak was still, was he like 20-0 here? When did he start wrestling? 92?
This isn't streak versus career, is it? That's the next time. That's the next year, right? Because they fought again at 26. They had two.
God, is this not? I'm sorry.
I think you're right. So Shawn ended Nature's career, the WrestleMania before, in Orlando, I think, 2008. 2009, Shawn Taker, and 2010. Did he not miss out or get eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and he was crestfallen because that would have been...
Let me make sure I have the right Royal Rumble queued up here.
It's not a Royal Rumble, it's a WrestleMania.
WrestleMania queued up here.
Rona got her bad.
Yeah, so he in WrestleMania 26, he was like, right, I'm just going to win the Royal Rumble, and then I can face Taker. Like, the whole thing was like, I need to face him again, I need to prove that I can beat him. I came so close last time. And then...
There it is.
I think he obviously got eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
The NXT fucking into his hands, right?
And then did he like pop up at the end of like Elimination Chamber or whatever the pay-per-view was between Rumble and Mania? I think it was Elimination Chamber still then. And I think like he popped up and cost the Undertaker, and then...
That's just mean.
And then, then they fought again at WrestleMania 26. But we are going back to WrestleMania 25, their first encounter, which I remember watching this back in my house in the UK when I was still living over there with some friends that I used to watch wrestling with, and we would just hang out, drink, and stay up and watch WrestleMania until the small hours of the morning. And I was pretty tired by this point, but this match like got me jumping around the living room with like the drama of it. It was amazing, like some of the near falls and some of the spots. Like, I guess we could talk about it a little bit more afterwards, but yeah, it's an amazing match. And when you consider like the age of these two guys as well, like they're not even in the peak of their careers, but the performance that they both put in, obviously they're both incredible performers, but yeah, unreal match.
I mean, you said look, considering their age, isn't like Shawn just 40 here?
No,
I don't know.
41?
No, Shawn was about 45.
This is 2009,
44,
right?
45 almost. Yeah, 44.
Yeah.
Right. Shawn is 57 now, so like 40. No, Shawn's 43. Jericho's what, 52?
Yes.
AJ Styles is currently 45.
Yes.
It's not that. It's weird how, I suppose people, right, look, in the 90s was hard on everyone.
Yes, it was.
And the guys now take a lot better care of themselves, which we're all, I say we're all grateful for. A bit boring, but, you know, guys like the Bucks just go to...
I hate
it's different. Like you see, Darby Allin or Daniel Bryan throwing themselves through the ropes for a tope suicida every single week, right? But you don't see Undertaker like clearing the ropes and trying to take out Shawn Michaels, like literally flying over the top of the ropes and flipping. Like you just don't see him do that. So when he does pull that out, it gets
that was unsafe.
You've got to slow it down, brother. Slow it down. Think about that
But
book card.
it's not even slow it down. It's a case of like what you can do is like here, right? But then what you do on a Raw or SmackDown is like here. And then when you pull out this for whenever, then it actually means something. If you're doing this every fucking week, then okay, then when it gets to pay-per-view, you're still doing this. I see that every week. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think Jack talks about this a lot, right? And I am also a proponent for this. When you watch, and this is nothing against the Young Bucks because I love them, but like when you watch one of their matches, they deliver no less than 100 super kicks, right? Like that used to be the ultimate finisher, like for somebody like Shawn Michaels. So like it just dilutes the moves, right? Like like what you're saying, John, if Undertaker was doing that every single week on SmackDown, we wouldn't be so impressed to see him do something like that at WrestleMania or in a big time. It's just like you got to keep a little bit reserved for those big spots, right?
Yeah, and there's another spot in this as well, I think, where HBK kicks out of a tombstone, I think, is this match. And I was like, I've never fucking seen that before, do you know what I mean? But yeah, when you protect the finisher, it's all that stuff, right? It's all part of it.
Exactly.
It isn't that difficult if you boil it down and keep it simple.
It does still happen sometimes, like, only
no one's
one
ever kicked
person
out
in
the
history
one-winged angel, have they?
One person, right?
Hmm?
I think one person has. But that's it.
Don't think
no
so.
one ever? You don't think anyone ever?
No one ever.
Okay. You know better than me.
I think they nearly teased it with Hangman and never pulled the trigger. I think he got V-triggered, but never mind. Should we go ahead and watch it anyway?
Only one man has kicked out of Kenny Omega's one-winged angel. Apparently, Kota Ibushi.
He's best mate. He's
what I thought.
Allegedly, more than friends, but
but yeah, not in AEW, and that's been
allegedly.
like 4 years now. So.
Jack Milner.
Hey, I read Twitter.
Leave it.
You stick to Instagram. Right, we're gonna go WrestleMania. I want to watch WrestleMania 30, but never mind.
Let me make sure I'm on the right WrestleMania. WrestleMania 25.
No,
we can do 30 next week.
If
it's not a great match though, 30, by the way. It's a great moment. It's not the best match. Just so you know.
There's a double-edged sword of John Jacobs drinking wine. He's hilarious, but he also isn't sit there quiet mulling anymore. We are on if you're watching on the network like us, it's watchwe.com/episode/WrestleMania-25. How easy is that? Lisa, if you're on the cock, where do you go?
WrestleMania season 25. And then I think we're starting at 1 hour, 48 minutes.
Just listen to the state of us two. Absolutely horrendous. And we're starting at 1 hour, 48 minutes. Bang on. The Undertaker has his eyes rolled back in the back of his head. And we click play in 3, 2, 1.
I definitely used to do that in so many family photos, and
I can't do the eye roll back thing.
You can't?
I can't do it. No.
No.
I used to get made fun of in the playground. Like everyone would do it, and I'd just be like, "Ooh." No,
you just did it.
Is that it? No, that wasn't high enough. It wasn't high enough.
But that's a variation. We accept that.
Well, the playground did not.
Kids are mean, though.
It's a great video package.
I just my one lasting memory is of that 2006, 7, 8 period was the DX reunion, and then wearing that stupid fucking. Everything was like merch, right? There was bands.
Everything was
there was
merch.
Hats. There was T-shirts. I remember thinking, you are 40-year-old men dressing
glow
like
sticks. Oh my god.
You are 40-year-old men dressing like you're 25. Like what's going on here?
Yeah, but you know what? That merch went viral because if you recall, they had like a hoodie, a zip-up hoodie that they made, and it had the two of them on the back showing their butts. They were mooning on it.
Yeah.
I remember like I would see random people wearing it and I would be like, oh, like, hey, are you a wrestling fan? And they'd be like, no, this is a wrestling shirt. I'm like, so they were over.
Those people have a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
Freaks. So JJ, what we're looking at, give us some context here, JJ, because I was not watching.
So we're going through all of Undertaker's wins at WrestleMania. At this point, he's 16-0.
Right.
And it's
so around this time,
WrestleMania versus the streak.
Around this time, right? When did he face Khali in the Punjabi prison match? Is this like the year before or something?
I have purposely wiped that from my memory. God,
I've erased that.
Punjabi prison match. I mean, is that
racist?
What? That sounds racist.
It never happened.
But this WrestleMania, like my abiding memory in the build-up was the Randy Orton versus Triple H build-up, because that was, I know we spoke about this recently, it was the best fucking build-up to WrestleMania.
14 years ago today, JJ.
It
was the best build-up, but the match was just shit. It's such a letdown. Yeah. It's hard when you've got
Randy
an amazing
headlock
build-up to actually match that.
Chinlock, sorry, chinlock.
You know what? I hate people who do that, Jack.
Do what, darling? The hair's looking good today, by the way.
Thank you. It's so dirty.
Thank you. No content, Lacey.
That's how Jack likes it.
Like, it's those people that you know, when Randy's gone, you guys are gonna be like, oh, Randy was so good, brother. He was the best. Nobody's like Randy anymore. And then like today, Randy headlock Orton. Like, I can't tell you how many shows I've gone to where I've seen people with signs that say like another headlock Randy, like, and I've wanted to literally shred that sign.
What is your favorite Randy Orton match?
That's a tough one. No. That's a really tough one. But I remember when I first came back into watching wrestling, it was Randy Orton versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania, WrestleMania 21. And that's really still my favorite match because, like, I love that his dad was involved, Cowboy Bob. It got dramatic after because he had hepatitis and he bled on everybody, but that's a different story. Yeah, that was bad. But no, I really feel like that's when he, like, obviously he had already been a world champion at that time and he had already gotten like kicked out of Evolution, and like I liked all that, like him versus Evolution, but I feel like that was like his first big feud by himself where like he proved that like he could stand on his own. So for that reason, that's my favorite.
My sort of overriding memories of Randy Orton are like good storylines, but not necessarily good matches. And that's not saying that he hasn't had any, but if I try and think of them, like none really massively jump out. Like the Evolution, like getting one back over Triple H and
the
like
Legend Killer
Evolution.
gimmick, right?
The Legend Killer gimmick.
Exactly. Which one had cool. Everyone.
Yeah. Edge, Foley, all of that stuff.
I think what you're saying, John, and I won't disagree. Randy has a lot of good moments.
By the way, this entrance from HBK is legendary.
Top tier.
Legendary.
Also, I like how they do like the light versus the darkness because, like, you know, Shawn, born again, you know, heavily involved with the church and very into his faith and stuff like that. And then you have the Undertaker, a demon, whatever he
and
actually.
And that they're both wearing the cowboy hat as well. It's like the white cowboy hat versus the black cowboy hat kind of vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool. We're probably going to take up about 10 minutes just for the entrances here.
Well, for the Undertaker's entrance, you could go to the bathroom.
30-minute match as well. Yeah, but like if you've never seen an Undertaker entrance live, like you're not going to go to the bathroom, right? You got to be there for it. You can't miss it. You go to the bathroom for Santina Marella winning the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal, I think, during this show, if you were going to take it at any time.
Can I tell you, you know what I'm really happy to see, and I hope that it doesn't change. I don't know if you guys have been following like what the card is going to be this year for WrestleMania, but like a tighter, leaner card where like they don't have to have a friggin' battle royal of 40 people on just to give everybody 2 minutes on the show or whatever.
I wouldn't mind a battle royal if it had stakes, right? If it meant something, but it's literally is just like, hey, everyone, get your WrestleMania payday. It's to be fair, like it's one of the like nice things that WWE do. We criticize them so much for like how they treat talent, but in a way, it's almost like, yeah, cool that you give all these people who might not have a story or might not have whatever, you give them their 2 minutes on WrestleMania and they get their payday. Cool, but it's also like I'm not watching to see some random guy get his payday, right? Like, give it some fucking meaning, and there's some interest for me as the viewer.
Exactly. Because it's just like, oh, it's just another battle royal. Like, okay, great. Like we don't need it. Don't even put it on the pre-show. We don't even need a pre-show. I'm happy just to show up and watch the real show.
Just miss Mojo Rawley. He won that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then never got the push he deserved.
This may be slightly controversial. Is it just me? Not a big fan of Justin Roberts.
I've never had a problem with him.
No, I mean, think of like.
What were you gonna say?
I'm thinking of iconic announcers, right? Because I've never seen this. Well, I don't remember seeing this. When I heard the bell, I was thinking, I get to hear the think now. The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
No, not at this
Making his way to the ring.
And that's the thing. That's true.
Justin Roberts has got a lot better. Like he looks like he's 24 here or something. I remember when Kenny Omega returned, like that kind of speech. He did it perfectly. Like he's come a long way.
North Carolina.
Yeah. And if you want to see, is it Justin Roberts that was on the Jerry Springer show? One of our most popular videos on this YouTube channel.
Yes. So I think like at some point in the 2000s, the Fink was strictly part-time, right? They would bring him in just to do. Go ahead, buddy. Yeah, you could take your time. They would bring him in to do like WrestleMania or whatever, but it was like, Lillian Garcia would like co-host the show or whatever.
Tony Kimmel, right?
Tony
Kimmel was on SmackDown.
Tony Kimmel was a SmackDown.
The Rated Superstar.
Well, it was funny because when Edge came back, do you remember that? I think it was at least for one match that like he brought Tony Kimmel back with him.
was it in the COVID match where it was the greatest wrestling match of all time? Was it against Randy?
Can I tell you something?
In the studio.
I love Randy. Wow. Bring the wine with you. Just keep it here. Just drink it straight from the bottle. Let me get you a shot.
I just wanted to show off the massive bottle.
Tell me you've won a lot today at poker without telling me you've won a lot today at poker.
He's a rich man.
This was a gift from the wine trader that ran the game.
Wow. And you still skinned him. Bit harsh. Wronged.
So, what were we saying?
Tony Kimmel.
I was on about the WrestleMania, that match between Randy and Edge, right? The greatest match of all time.
That was the worst match of all time. I'm sorry.
That was Randy Orton. What do you mean?
And I love Randy.
The worst match of all time, that didn't include Matt Hardy.
Let me tell you, it was a good match, but it did not need to go 48 minutes or whatever the fuck it went.
Right there. They wrestled all over. It didn't need to be that way.
Taker looks trim here, by the way.
I was thinking as he came up from, he did the Cody just right. Can I just say as well, I'm so sick of the fucking Cody hype. Like they are trying so hard. So hard. Like Cena coming up and going, this guy here, yeah.
Like, you see, he got the rub this week.
He got the Cena rub, and he went out and says Sami Zayn. Like they are trying so hard to make him the guy.
It doesn't need to be happening, guys.
I'm excited for the storyline that's building in the background because you had Cody chatting to Kevin Owens like in the background of one of the backstage like vignettes. And I think it's going to be a case of Cody and KO and Sami all taking down the bloodline. KO and Sami taking down the Usos, and then Cody finishing the job.
And then Cody turns heel on the both. Do you know
Let
what we
it
need
play
to ask?
out,
We need to
brother.
get Greg or Rafa give a price. When do we see Brandy on TV?
Oh god, you price it.
Buddy,
Hey guys, I'm
I'm
sorry.
a
Where
backer,
are
not a
you?
lay. Have you seen my record?
Where are you, John?
Where am I?
On time?
1:59:26, 27, 28. Taker
Exactly.
is standing
Okay,
at the
cool.
corner.
Exactly the
He's
same.
lifting his arms, and the lights come up.
We're 12 minutes in, and we've not hit seen a bell rung yet. But yeah, the whole Cody stuff just not for me. And I like Cody, right? He's that old fashioned generation of grifters and carnies, and you know when he came back last year, Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm just so happy to learn from him. Like
I hate
you
him.
fucking
He's
smashed
a
a chair that was pretending to be his throne, and you came out with saying there's more than one royal family. You basically said he was shit, and I'm better than him. What are you on about? I love Paul. Paul.
Oh, you know, I feel like we, as the wrestling fans, we really missed the opportunity. I obviously love Triple H and Stephanie. You know, they're like my close personal friends. Just kidding.
Stanford
Um, no, but I love Triple H, and obviously his health comes first. But like we missed that tiny window of opportunity where it could have been Triple H versus Cody when he came back, and you know, I feel like that would have been a great story.
Time to play the game. Who's the ref?
Maddie Elias.
Who?
He was
Maddie
on
Elias.
the Jericho podcast a couple of years ago, and they went through.
You know him? I don't know him. Wow.
I don't know he is
I
now.
do not recognize this guy at all.
Shawn asked him to personally asked him to ref the match. Apparently, again, this is from the Jericho podcast. So
Why?
Oh, he liked him. Okay,
I
that's
don't know.
good.
Yeah, friends. He wasn't down for the match, and Shawn got him in.
Oh, that's good.
By the way, Jericho on the Renee Paquette's oral sessions. By the way, Renee is just so good at her job.
Renee can do no wrong in your eyes.
Are we getting Renee v Jade next week, guys?
Say that again.
Are we getting Renee versus Jade next week?
Renee
Did you see the
Paquette.
promo?
No.
So Renee's backstage interviewing Jade, like you're 53, 54, and whatever you are.
Oh, yeah.
And she was
She's like, you're from Canada.
Well, we're in Canada next week. You're in Canada. You're from Canada, right, Renee?
Yeah.
Renee's like, yeah. She's like, well, let's see who we can get, like one of these Canadian bitches to come and fight me. And then looks at Renee and then walks off. And Renee's like,
well, the best Canadian women's wrestler is tied up at the Fed, so.
Trish. Is that who you meant? I don't know.
Let me rock and roll. By the way,
No,
Trish.
who did you mean? Sorry.
I'm talking about Natty.
Oh, Natty, right. Okay.
Natty's
That did not even cross my mind. Sorry.
Natty's too
But
busy
like, who could it be?
incest-related things with her sister on OnlyFans. Weird.
Genuinely, like who could it be? It's just funny because by the time this goes out, everyone's gonna know. But
is she from Canada? She's not.
So.
Why is there an R on the end of Canada?
That's how people from New England say Canada. Don't question me.
Serena D is
I think
American.
Serena D is from Baltimore area.
Yeah, she's American. I can't think of anyone. There's no one that jumps to mind. I don't know if anyone has any idea. Okay. Maybe. I'm gonna have to look through the roster and start doing some digging.
I mean, I just can't think of anyone that's from Canada. Like if Chelsea Green was available, I'd be like, oh, Chelsea Green, great. Like, but there's literally no one that I can think of.
And Chelsea Green can't even go to Canada because she doesn't know her way around issues. She's got immigration issues.
And my point about Renee Paquette was the subtleties she does when interviewing, right? Just the facial expressions and a little head tilt, like when she was interviewing Ruby, just the way she kind of sold, like, well, she has a point here, you know.
Ruby absolutely smashed her promo, by the way.
I actually really loved that, and I don't praise too much these days, but I texted my best friend and I was
not about
like,
wrestling either. She means life. I don't praise.
Period. Just period.
There's a lot of grafting to get on her good side. Yeah.
I don't have it. All right. Like, no, but I texted my best friend. I was like, this is amazing. Like, but It's always good when it's rooted in facts.
That's the thing. She brought facts. This whole storyline has been like a bit of a mess. But then when, you know, everyone can do the all you people promo, like
right,
it's a
baby
bit
girl.
of a tried and tested thing. But you know, when you bring the facts alongside with it, then fair enough. Like no one could disagree with anything that she said.
It's true. It's like you people booed the shit out of me on more than one occasion.
You people clamored for Soraya's comeback, did we?
Right. You want her to come back? Jack's like, we didn't want her
No,
to come
it's
back.
true. Like people were excited for
They did.
for
They
Paige,
did. You
Soraya.
people are trying to get behind her to come back. She comes back. You hate her. Tony, she quits WWE, and you guys want her here, and then you bring her here, and you don't even make her the real champion. And you know that one really hit home with me because you know I hate that interim champion
interim.
And let's be
nonsense.
fair. Let's be fair.
Where's
By the way,
Thunder Rosa?
Tony's in-ring stuff has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's
Like
great.
she didn't do anything wrong to like lose the title. It's just that Jamie was hotter.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of
She's up against the GOAT. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's true. It's very true. Everything she said was valid, and I was like, wow, like I love facts, because you know how it is when you're faced with the facts, you're just like, oh, she's not wrong. Now I'm with them.
But she's supposed to be the heels, so it kind of like ruins it, right? Like they're the heels.
That's
She was still
okay.
getting boos. Like they were still getting big boos, but like yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm happy to root for the heels because like if they're doing it the right way, that's fine. My thing is though, I think we're all just still a little bit hung up on this, is that we want to see Britt versus Jamie. That's
Yeah,
all we
but that
came
can
here for.
Britt's done
that can
nothing
come.
in 6 months.
But
That's
it's
all we
okay.
came here
It doesn't-
for.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter because when they do it, it will be
When they
amazing.
do it.
Like you don't, but you don't
Do.
have. Fine, but you don't have to do these things that you know straight away, right? You want Hater to have a good run. That's gonna be like the big kind of storyline at the end of it. It will happen.
JJ, you should have asked me about the handicap 60 on OC at 3-1.
Fair enough. Well
But
played.
it won by about 45 seconds.
What was the longest match?
I think that it was about 15 minutes. Because Hobbs and Wardlow had 2.5 minutes on the handicap. OC and Jay Lethal went about 13.5 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah, so the thing is that the Wardlow match, they were fighting, but the bell didn't go for a good minute and a half.
Thank God.
That fucked me.
You backed it? Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't know you were needle. I thought you were just curious.
No, it was fine. I wasn't I was genuinely curious. I was like, I didn't want to say it, and then he turns around and goes, "Yeah, you had a winning bet, nice needle kind of thing." But it wasn't a needle. I just didn't know. But anyway, I was up this week. I only had 3 bets.
Poor Wardlow.
Right.
You win.
Do you think the car being broken into was a work?
No, but they will. I feel like they could easily make it to one. Is it going to be Wardlow versus MJF, but Double or Nothing? Then do you think that's what they'll build to?
No.
I mean, I backed him, but I don't think they will. I just don't see why.
What do we reckon then for the main event of Double or Nothing?
But before we go any further, can I just say I've not even mentioned it yet? FTR are back.
I know. You know what? How many minutes in are we?
Look at the fat kid dance.
Good 20
and you
minutes
haven't
now.
even mentioned it. I'm so proud of you.
The
promo last night was so much fun.
I love their music so much.
It's
you know
what?
When it first came out, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But it's so good.
The FTR
my guy was in the ring for 3 seconds and was already busted open.
Dak said out for 2 months. 2 minutes back and look at me.
That's the way it is.
I just love this goddamn business.
So
with FTR back, what we saying?
He's so passionate.
What we saying? Is Punk back next?
No, because I think if it was going to be FTR and Punk, then Elite would have held on to the titles. That was my view. Anyway, I might be wrong.
Possibly. Like for me as well. Again, given Cornette goes in
Doesn't have to
harder
have the
on
titles.
Kenny than he is the Bucks. I like Kenny as a single. And I think with Don Callis,
I love Kenny.
he's great. Don Callis is the best carny, old school fucking,
Not corny.
so
That's the second time today
I'll
you
take my
referred to
20%,
someone.
brother. I'll look after your career. Give me my cut. He's brilliant. But Kenny as a single is brilliant. I want to see Kenny Omega versus CM Punk. And I want to see the Bucks versus FTR. I'm not bothered about the 6-man.
You know who I want to see versus CM Punk? Absolutely nobody.
I was end up like Conor McGregor. Absolutely fucking no one. Wow, that accent was all over.
So who do we think then? Like
Fucking
for
nothing.
MJF at Double or Nothing? Because at the minute, I don't see he's got a viable challenger. I would have said Hangman has kind of got his. I would have said Hangman's kind of got his mojo back, but then they've thrown him right back into the Mox thing. Like
I think that's short term.
With the stupid Dark Order, I'm so tired of it.
The dweebs.
You know what though? The Dark Order
they're
have held on longer than I really assessed that they could. I'm shocked.
Probably not a needle.
You see Shawn.
I mean, I could see Adam Cole if he ever fucking wrestles, just going on a run of singles wins and then going right, give me MJF at the pace. Like that would be cool, but he's not gonna win.
He said he wrestles again in March. I've backed about 4 against him. Who he's gonna face? I think he faces somebody like an Ethan Page or a mid-level hit, like a Sammy Guevara.
Jay Lethal, surely.
I think I backed Jay Lethal as well. Oh, on the same tune, Jeff Jarrett next week wrestling for a championship. Speaking of carnies, how's he wrangled that?
So first and foremost,
like he could win. By the way, like they're leveling
he's totally gonna win. He's totally gonna win. Let's start there. It's a new belt, a new name for the belt, which is actually the name that we've been asking for this whole freaking time.
It's their version of an IC belt, isn't it? The international title. It's just a rip-off.
Guy, the All Atlantic was the stupidest name anyway, so why not?
Uh-oh.
By the way, let's see if
yeah.
If you wanna make some money and you think Jeff's gonna win, you can make 3.3x your money on whatever you want to stake on Jeff. That's the price. Jeff Jarrett to win the title.
Oh, how can I wager? Is it legal?
Just tell me what you want to bet and I'll sort it out for you.
Is it legal?
I'm such a rule follower, you guys. You don't know.
I mean, I hope it's legal because I'm on a shitload of money.
Oh, okay, very good. Why, they think Jeff's gonna lose?
Yeah, Orange Cassidy's big odds on.
He's operating at optimal right now. Like
how cut is Jeff, by the way? His arms are fucking huge.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Orange Cassidy is also very popular right now too, despite
Orange Cassidy is one of the best in-ring competitors in AEW.
Yeah, what you said. I've really, you know, I think I said about 3 months ago, I'm just so over Orange Cassidy. It's just this little run he's had, like with all these bangers, I've really enjoyed it. I think he's.
I said this when he had his match against Will Ospreay. Was it Forbidden Door when he fought Will Ospreay?
Yeah, like in May, yeah.
Right. So like a year ago, I was saying this guy's phenomenal. Like he's amazing because everyone just gets so hung up on this. He's just a comedy wrestler, but like
I love this.
He builds that into telling a story.
Oh,
it's amazing. Just an amazing wrestler. And like the stuff that he does, like he's got his fucking hands in his pockets and he kicks up and he drop kicks and he's just like, how the fuck do you do that? It's unreal.
And not break your arm.
Isn't this for doesn't a cameraman get involved and he drops him?
No.
Right?
Well, wait for it, but yes, the cameraman does get
have I seen this on Wrestlemania?
Completely. Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, Shawn.
Wait for it. That spot is amazing.
I still don't even know what that move was, and it just hurts.
Which one?
what he was doing there.
Oh,
What
just
he meant what he meant to do there.
I nearly fell.
just the
It wasn't
moonsault.
quite a
Oh God!
moonsault.
Oh, okay, right. I've
shit.
just seen that there. Yeah, okay, yeah. He fucked
Oh,
that up.
am I see you guys like it's like
2
so
seconds
Right, we
ahead.
are at 1, 2, 14, 21, 22, 23.
I think Peacock's just a few seconds ahead for whatever reason. But yeah, that didn't even. He needs to watch some Charlotte Flair matches. What the fuck?
like
That was
what
not a moonsault. He
I don't
just
know
kind
what
of
that was. It looked
fan
like
off
it
the
turned
top.
into like a I don't know.
What's this
He
replay?
changed his
Oh
mind
my God!
mid
Oh, we need to watch
move.
some Tiffany Stratton matches. That girl throws a
They could
mean
just
moonsault.
what it. He's lucky Taker like got something on him because if he did,
To
he was
break his
nowhere near
momentum,
him.
right?
Literally, he was nowhere near him.
Yeah.
He would have just eaten the fucking floor.
It's so nice to hear JR. Again, listening to bits of Revolution, I love JR's commentary still. I don't know why he's on. I mean, I don't watch
too. I'm
Rampage.
sad when they put him on halfway through the show and they let him do a match or two. Like, why can't he just do the whole show? I love it.
It's like letting
He was on
Grandpa
from
like
the
have to do
start.
like the burgers at the barbecue. Now get out of the way. Come on, you had your
I
time.
think he was on from the start, but he didn't last the whole 3.5, 4
like
hours.
even weekly, like they don't even. He
I
just
know.
does.
There you go, Jack.
Oh,
My God. Yeah, because again, Marty Elias, the referee, was on the Jericho podcast, and he said,
yes, Marty Elias.
Shawn
Yeah.
just keeps saying to him, "Stay down, keep selling, stay down," and this lasts like 3 minutes.
Mm. But that's the spot that I was speaking about earlier, where you don't see Taker flying over the top rope like
First
ever.
of all,
So when
he
you
looks like he
do,
almost broke his neck.
he was lucky the cameraman was there. He didn't quite flip as far as he needed to. It looked like, but yeah.
He starts getting up, and Shawn just says to him, "Stay down,
Yeah.
go back down."
Watch this. Oh!
You actually see him try to grab him, and it's like a drop at cricket, right? It goes underneath his hands.
God, he's supposed to go like that, but he goes like that.
He goes head first dive, but the thing is, right, the way that locker room politics is, right, that won't be Taker's fault.
No.
Like again, it's always the famous Hogan one, right, from '91. You got me, brother. Sorry, what? You got me, my neck.
You got me, brother.
Apparently, he was on Vince's floor in his office. He got me, Vince. I didn't touch him.
Such a monster.
I better go to the hospital. Unsafe. You better give me that belt back, brother.
What a monster.
You gotta look after your spot in this game, kids.
You know what's funny? Like, then Vince ended up being like, so close with Undertaker. Like, that's like his guy that, like, he knows that he can trust him with anything.
Oh, Shawn making sure he's okay.
No, he's telling him to count. Give me the count out win. Oh man. Jackson, do you think the kid woke up?
We didn't even get no warning, just going.
Oh no, he's back.
He went for a refill.
My best friend's granddad would have a glass or a pint of Guinness every day at home because he was convinced he was keeping him alive.
How much is a pint?
568 milliliters.
How many ounces is that?
Fuck knows. How many ounces in a pint? Google, here we come.
This is 355, so it's like 1.5 of these. So
yeah.
How much is a yard of
18
ale?
ounces.
There are 16 ounces in a pint, apparently.
Right, I never understand that. Again, watching American TV, oh my God, he got a 24 ouncer. What's a 24 ouncer?
It's a pint and a half, evidently.
Talk to us. To be American, this is why you couldn't be an American. To be American,
we the people,
is to overcomplicate
life,
things that are already established to make them American. That is our number one job, and we're so good at it.
Haunted house is really obnoxious. Right?
Like the simple idea of not
Period.
shooting people.
Can't do that.
Right to bear arms, brother.
That's not going to work for me, brother.
I want to know that. Listen, you can tell us off air when you start hearing that backstage at CCW.
What?
Yeah, that finish doesn't work for me, brother.
It's really hard to hear you, Jack. You need to move your mic closer.
That better?
Yep.
Jack, who said that I don't already hear that?
Looking at you, Ariel.
No. Jake.
He's the champion, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Ariel
it doesn't
actually,
work for me, brother.
no, Ariel actually like doesn't have like that type of ego.
Shout out to Ariel, CCW World Champion.
World Heavyweight Champion that you
Heavyweight
deserve.
Champion. And I will get you your Nate shirt at the week, sir.
Just don't talk about it anymore. We already forgot.
Your Nate shirt is never coming, Ariel. Deal with
It's never coming.
Never gonna happen.
He's okay. He's already over it.
By the way,
heard the stuff that
congratulations.
you
Lizzie
said.
went viral at the weekend for being snapped with Bill Alfonso. Fonzie.
Did I?
Right down the middle, daddy.
I went viral? I don't think I went viral. I think it
You
just
went viral. People just.
Yeah, you went viral. You got the COVID virus, didn't you?
Wait.
Fonzie is like my absolute favorite. I just love him so much.
You went viral with people just saying, "Oh my God, where did he get those fucking teeth from?"
You know what? People are so mean. Don't worry about what.
No, you got when he was in ECW, he had like 6 teeth.
I know.
So it's a compliment.
I know.
Look at his teeth now.
His teeth are beautiful.
Anyway, Lizzie, you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's always.
Thank you.
Fonzie and I say thank you.
Hi, Fonzie.
Fonzie is the cutest. Me, him, Ariel, Kevin, and Nelly are a coffee club. That's what I call it. Lisi's Coffee Club. It's very
What do you do there?
We just drink coffee together before the show.
It's a good name.
I feel like I need to work on the name, but
we'll be like your wine club, JJ.
Maybe like
me and
the Finer Things Club.
You and Seb drinks water. Are we having any news from how are the kids? Are they all right? No updates.
I feel like there is some news, but I forgot it. Nothing major's happening.
Okay.
You know, same old.
Seb played with a lizard or snake this weekend. I saw.
Seb did play with a snake.
It was a snake, right?
That off. Yeah. He actually played with a lizard as well, but I didn't put that one. But yeah.
2.
And he didn't care one bit.
So yeah, at a 3-year-old's birthday party, and they were like, "Oh, we've got some guy that's going to bring some like lizards and snakes along," and I was like, "How is that going to go down well with 3-year-olds?" But anyway, there was an older kid, so when they brought the big snake out, the older kid, they like had him sat on the chair, gave it to him, and after like maybe 10 seconds, he was like, "Nah, I don't like this. Get it off me and let me get out of here." They were like, "Does anyone else want to try it?" Seb fucking ran and jumped in that chair in front of like other kids that were nearer. And yeah, absolutely loved it. Seb, I didn't think he would, but it was like all around his neck. He's holding it. He's just like, yeah, he was happy.
Jake the Snake style.
You know it.
Seb the Snake. That's going to be his wrestling name.
Seb the Snake.
At least it's alliterative.
We're working on that. So Shawn Michaels just kicked out of a last ride.
Yeah.
For those of you watching.
Yeah, we're getting into the weeds here. We should focus.
We really aren't getting into the weeds and everything, but we're talking about everything about the actual match.
It's okay. I think we've covered all the bases.
Listen,
a rare high-risk maneuver.
JR sounds like very much like a video game JR at this time.
Well, this was 14 years ago. Yeah. He
wasn't senile by then. Yeah.
Taker has taken some big fucking falls in this match. Like even that elbow drop where he's just absolutely missed. That's not a nice fall for someone who's like the size that he is.
His size and his bump card was well stamped by then already.
Mm-hmm.
And after landing on his neck about 8 minutes earlier as well.
Well, I was watching something. I forget what interview that he gave when he was talking about the types of surgeries that he's had on his hips,
Mm.
where they like, they go in there and they cleaned out all the scar tissue and the arthritis, and they like coated his
This is it,
femur.
JJ.
That's it, tombstone. And you think, surely it's over.
Oh, but
That's the
it's not
tongue.
over.
That's it.
Take a
But yeah.
face.
To me,
That's
Wow.
a meme. When you thought it was a fart and then something starts trickling down your leg.
can I just say as well, like the strength after what, 25 minutes of a match to
Yeah.
pull Shawn off the ropes and get him into that position, like that's unreal.
And he was on a bad shape here. He was already on his like part-time schedule at this point, right? Like he would come to life maybe around like Survivor Series towards the end of the year, towards Royal Rumble, then have his match at WrestleMania, and then he would just like fade out and take 6 months off and recover.
I love that there's a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt in like the third row, just
Up the Wolves.
showing up, bright orange.
Oh, the straps are down.
I see it.
Oh, now he means business.
Poor man's
Look at
Wardlow.
that chest.
I'm sorry, right, but nobody did that like Kurt Angle.
I was gonna say
When
Kurt
Kurt took the strap down, shit was going down.
You knew it was business.
He threw a little woo in there as well.
Let's get down to business.
Dum, 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 dum. I had another person describe me as the most whitest person I've ever met today. I was humming along to Capital FM.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I said to myself, a few weeks ago, Jack was talking about he likes the song Players.
Coil Ray, because girls is players too.
A few weeks prior to that, you said that you were watching the Brits and you knew who some of the rap artists were and stuff. And I said, you know what? Jack isn't so white anymore. He's
Stormzy,
really
innit? Everyone loves Stormzy.
Jack is making the crossover. It's happening.
Gonna get me one thing I can say that follows that could be.
I was gonna say, where are you going? I was gonna say, where are you going?
What type of stereotype do you want to finish that with, Jack? I would rather not finish that sentence.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, that's the right answer. Just take what I said and run with it. Yeah, look at you. You're evolving, Jack. We're so proud of you.
Like a Pokemon.
This is selling. Look at Shawn.
Look at that.
Can't even climb. He's crying, just having to try and climb this damn turnbuckle.
It's a little much, but
his head hurts. You see all his bald spots.
All the bald spots. Plural. The one at the back, the one at the front. No, he got him.
It was a terrible elbow.
He didn't get all of it.
Sorry, how many matches have you wrestled, brother?
Fuck off.
Do you know what? You really pissed me off in that when you go there. Oh, I was going to back. Oh, I really fancied Hobbs. Oh yeah, I really fancied all 7 last winners. Back off, mate. Back off.
That was funny though, right? I mean, it was funny. You can't ask the time in the group.
That genuinely was. You know, I really fancied
I'm sure we've all had situations where we were going to back a bet that won, and we were like, "Oh man, I wish I had backed the bet."
Do you know the problem is when you're winning too much? I feel like I can't take the piss. If I was 200-300 down, I don't know these people.
But they're not your friends.
I know, that's what I mean.
So, but you'd rather take money off people. Like if they turn around and go,
"Oh, he got him."
Okay, well you still owe me 100 quid, so I don't really care. Like you're not losing anything if they don't.
I owe you 100 quid.
No, I'm just saying.
Too much time.
1, 2. I get the point. Yeah.
So Shawn has kicked out of the last ride in a tombstone. Undertaker has survived, almost breaking his freaking neck.
Just as we're talking about protecting finishers, brother.
And the sweet.
No, but this is the thing. Like,
it's WrestleMania. You save it for the.
Honestly, this is where I feel like this is where it started because they saw the excitement that it drew when people kicked out of finishers, and then they just started doing it every time. It's like, okay, well, now you have to deliver 4 F5s to, you know, put someone away or whatever it may be. It's like, no, you have to save it for the big moment because otherwise it just diminishes everything. But I remember like some of the awesome NXT like main events, and it was literally like a finisher flurry. It was like, all right, we'll make him kick out 3 finishers, but then on the 4th one, and just like, no, like a match can end with just 1 finisher and that's it. And a lot of the time, that's how it should end.
God damn it, pal. They want to see 7.
They want to get their money's worth. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's it's kind of like you could look at it 2 ways, right? Because at WrestleMania, people want to feel like they get their money's worth, but also as a fan, I don't need to see 40-minute matches for every match at WrestleMania. Like,
But
it's
this,
okay.
when it's literally like one man defending his 17-year streak versus one man who's so desperate to end it, like you understand the story that like they have that extra little bit to be able to kick out of them. Like, okay, but at Backlash, it doesn't need to happen. Like, no one's that bothered about the Backlash winning streak or whatever. Right.
No one counts them.
I thought it was a fair point you did make, JJ, about saying what's your favourite Randy Orton match, because I can immediately think like Shawn Michaels, right? Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. Iconic matches, as opposed to the modern day is all about that one moment that can be used on social media, right? Or a YouTube clip. Whereas again, like Brett versus Owen, Brett versus Taker, Brett versus Austin.
Yep.
Just changed.
Same with Bryan Danielson, same with, you know, anyone. Hunter, Mick Foley.
Well, you know, JJ, I can do both, so
got him. Couldn't kick out 2 Tombstone.
You can't.
Unreal. So good.
Undertaker. Yeah, I prefer Dasher. Very underrated ring announcer.
You just don't like Dasher. Justin Roberts.
I'm saying I like Dasher.
It's okay.
It is okay.
But Justin's their guy now.
You know, they followed this up with John Cena versus Big Show, right? I mean,
fuck off, they did not.
Sorry, actually, I think it was Cena, Big Show, and Edge. I think it was a triple threat. Cena, Big Show, Edge.
I did on the podcast. They were like, they couldn't believe that they didn't make this main event.
Well, it wasn't for a title.
Or there was slight. Yeah, no, but think of the people involved, right? Shawn is Vince's guy, always has been. Taker, Vince's guy. Sorry, guys, we're gonna go. Who even main evented this?
It was Randy versus Triple H main event.
Okay, fair enough. Sonny Law.
Yeah. For the WWE title, but I think the Cena versus Big Show versus Edge was for the other world title.
Did Triple H beat Randy for the title?
Championship. Yes.
Of course it is. Well, you know, Randy, you know how these things go, so know your fucking place.
I can't deal with you.
If Shawn's not going over, I am, brother. That's
have you gotten it out of your system yet? You've done a lot of Triple H tonight. I'm not gonna lie.
Darling, I'm ill. I'm allowed to do it today.
Oh,
I've been nice to Triple H the last few weeks.
You know what? You're right. You haven't done him in some time.
I'm trying to be a better person. But when I feel shit, it just makes me feel better about myself.
Okay, that's fine.
Jack, who's your Cheltenham nap?
Barely even knows running. It's really like, again, if you go back 4 or 5 years ago, I'd be there doing the interviews, right? And I would know every horse on the form. I looked today at some of the entries, like I don't know half the horses.
Fair enough.
You're just so out of the game, brother.
I'll have a look in the week. I'm at the game. You realize that time is really space as an adult.
Bath, but yeah.
That's John Jacobs, the Jay Lethal of our podcast.
Don't get him started.
Listen,
Another
Jay
title match for Jay
Lethal,
Lethal
fine,
this
but
week.
fuck
Fucking
Bryce
hell.
Remsburg.
Jay Lethal, a title match last weekend. Title match on Wednesday. How'd he do it?
John might stop watching AEW altogether.
It's annoying. Like there used to be a reason for people to get title matches. Now it's like, hey, you lost the title match at the pay-per-view. Guess what? Have a title match. Like, what happened to rankings? I miss rankings.
I feel like that's something that they used to put a lot more stress on. And like while they still follow it and they still publish it, and I
They
do
don't.
like
They
that.
don't
They
publish
don't
it.
anymore. You're right.
Well, they still
They
show
haven't
it.
updated it. They haven't updated it in months. Like the actual
Don't-
rankings, they'll show a
but don't-
win-loss record, but I don't think the
Yeah, that's what I'm
rankings have
saying.
been
Like
updated in months.
they still show like the win-loss records and stuff like that. I know that that's something that was very important to you, John, because I think that also it contributes to something that you guys enjoy, which is the betting aspect of it, right? Because then you can kind of like make a little bit of logic from it. Stop trying to apply logic. I've told you this many times.
It's wrestling.
But this is one of the things that I liked about AEW, that things were logical, whereas in WWE, like a lot of times things weren't logical. I felt like you got rewarded for your investment in a product by going, okay, this has happened and this has happened and this has happened. There was some kind of progression, not just like random things kind of thrown together. I just looked; they haven't updated the rankings since August 2022.
They just need to take it down. Then just retire.
Can I ask a question? Sorry. So they're saying
Yeah.
this is Cena versus Edge versus Big Show. Triple H and Randy Orton were on Raw, right?
Yeah.
When was Cena ever on SmackDown?
He was on SmackDown loads.
He was
for
on
ages and
SmackDown a
ages.
lot. Yeah.
Really?
He was the remember when he took the title off JBL at WrestleMania 21?
Yeah, and then he got drafted to Raw in 2005.
Right.
But
That's
I
what I'm
thought he
saying,
was
but-
on Raw then forever afterwards.
No,
Oh wow.
no.
He had a lot of time on the blue brand.
By the way,
thing is,
the whole Vicky Guerrero stuff is so fucking weird. I
It's what?
remember going back and seeing bits of this, like
when
Vicky
she was
Guerrero.
with Edge, yeah.
Can I
thought
tell
it was
you?
gross. To be honest, I thought it was gross. Like
It was
Bad
she
taste.
was a widow of a much revered wrestler, and you're just putting her in these storylines where she's basically pouring herself out to a guy 20 years her junior. Like
no. Edge
and
is like 7 years her junior, 5 years her junior, but it doesn't matter.
But they made her look
Whatever
like
it is.
she was like 20 years old.
That's what it is. Like with the whole cougar thing and like that's what it's like. They were like, listen, we know you need some money because your husband's gone, so why don't you do this and embarrass yourself in front of everyone? Like,
Yeah.
not like. Just
I
not
feel
necessary.
like her
I
being
don't hold anything. By the way, I don't hold anything against her for taking on that because
no,
you do what you need to do, right?
no.
Pay those
But
bills.
I feel like at that time, right, it was just like uncomfortable to watch. And even now looking back, it's even more uncomfortable to watch.
What the fuck? Are you watching this in the background? Does Vicky Guerrero have an affair with the Big Show?
I paused it.
I turned it off.
Oh my god, what even is this?
What's happening, Jack?
Pardon?
What's happening?
What are you watching? Describe it.
There was a hidden
carried on
camera
watching,
in a dressing room, and Vicky Guerrero was hitting on the Big Show. Now Edge and the Big Show are fighting over Vicky. The fighting over to be Vicky Guerrero's boyfriend. What is going on?
It was
now
a
John
dark
Cena's
time.
pointing at the WrestleMania sign.
There was
a
some
dark
good stuff
time,
and there was some bad stuff in 2005. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
Was
this
the
was a dark
brand split
time.
even a thing here?
Yeah.
I don't think
so.
John Cena was on SmackDown.
Well, he was.
Just let it go, Jack.
I mean, he was the world heavyweight champion, so
Cena must have never held the big gold belt. I don't remember ever seeing him with a picture of it.
Jack,
I mean,
you don't watch wrestling,
Fucking hell,
so
Cena's only 32 here.
he
yes.
wins
Holy
the
shit.
title. Jack, he wins the title in this match to hold the big gold belt.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking
This
hell.
guy,
Wow.
this guy. It's like you're learning something new every day, huh,
I
buddy?
didn't watch anything of this.
It's okay.
WrestleMania. I remember the Nexus bit because, again, I was excited that Danielson was coming on TV. And he was on Raw. Wow. He looks so weird with a big gold belt. No, I'm sorry. He ain't Nitch. He ain't Nitch.
The thing is,
Obviously.
he had that. You know what though? I'm so glad they got rid of those belts. That stupid spinner belt.
Yeah.
Ah.
I was watching. I think on this day in WWE, guy
On
runs it,
this
Tim,
day,
really nice guy.
I see
And he's been
clearly
doing stuff from 2013. And The
everything's
Rock
come to life.
retired that belt, going,
And
no
I
championship
play
belt should ever
in
spin.
a broken dream. I leave it all behind. Sorry, Jack, what were you saying?
That's been episode 26, the Mainly Wrestling Show. Wonderful match.
I liked it.
He's been John Jacobs. She's
Thank you
been
for coming.
Rona Almeida. And I've run out of patience. It's good night from me, and it's good night from them.